Choosing a smartphone for gaming was quite simple back in the day. You simply had to pick one up with a good display and a powerful processor. Now, most affordable and high-end smartphones will let you game, but there are specific smartphones developed exclusively for that purpose. We've seen a lot of gaming smartphones in the past, and well, there's one more called the Nubia Red Magic 3. It is powered by a Qualcomm Snapdragon 855 SoC, has got liquid cooling as well as an internal fan. With all this dedicated gaming hardware, does the Red Magic 3 justify its price tag, or are you better off picking similarly powered smartphones like the OnePlus 7 and saving some money? Well, we put this Red Magic 3 to the test to find out. Now, before we go ahead with the Nubia Red Magic 3 review, be sure to subscribe to the Garage 360 YouTube channel and make sure you click the bell icon so that you're the first to know when we have a new video. Gaming smartphones in general have a striking design, and the Nubia Red Magic 3 isn't an exception. It is big and slightly bulky and has a 6.65-inch Full HD Plus HDR AMOLED display with a 19.5:9 aspect ratio and a 90Hz refresh rate. It also has Corning Gorilla Glass for protection. The Red Magic 3 puts out 430 nits of brightness and is bright enough to view when outdoors. There are two display modes to choose from as well, and we like the punchy contrast the colorful mode offers, while the natural mode had the sRGB output. We observed that the phone kept switching to natural mode automatically, which was a little annoying. The Nubia Red Magic 3 has the power and the volume buttons on the right side. These are well positioned and easy to reach when using the phone with one hand. There are two capacitive buttons on the side that act as shoulder buttons when holding the phone in landscape mode. We found the positioning to be similar to the buttons found on the ROG phone. However, we like the fact that these buttons on the Red Magic 3 are recessed into the frame, making them easy to hit while gaming. Right above the volume buttons is a vent for the internal fan, which is the first time we've seen such a thing on a smartphone. This fan is paired with liquid cooling, which helps the processor perform at its best during intense gaming sessions. The inlet vent is at the back of the smartphone and sits in between the camera and the fingerprint scanner. Just like older Nubia Red Magic gaming smartphones, this too has an RGB light strip running along the center. There is a Red Magic logo below this RGB light, which lights up for incoming notifications. On the left, the Red Magic 3 has a 2-position slider which helps put the phone into gaming mode. This button too is finished in red to go with the overall theme. There is a SIM tray slot as well, along with pogo pin connectors which can be used to connect a gaming dock. At the bottom, the Red Magic 3 sports a USB Type-C port, while it has a 3.5mm audio jack at the top. There's no IP certification, which is acceptable given the price of the smartphone, but you will have to be careful around water considering the amount of vents this phone has for air circulation. Gaming smartphones usually pack in the best possible hardware, and so does the Red Magic 3. Nubia has picked the Qualcomm Snapdragon 855 SoC. There is an integrated Adreno 640 GPU to handle graphics. The Red Magic 3 is available in two variants: 8GB of RAM with 128GB of storage and 12GB of RAM with 256GB of storage. It has UFS 2.1 storage, but it isn't as fast as the UFS 3.0 storage that the OnePlus twins get. Nubia offers stock Android 9 Pie with the March security patch. The UI is quite basic and we didn't have any issue finding our way around it. However, bits of the UI weren't polished and weren't entirely translated from Chinese. The UI does have a few customizations, such as the toggle for the RGB light strip and the option to customize it for different scenarios like incoming calls, charging, and notifications. We found two apps pre-installed on the smartphone: Kika Keyboard and an LED strip editor, which lets you customize different effects for the RGB light. Gamespace is the gaming mode on this phone, and it can be triggered only by flicking the red game switch. You can toggle the RGB light, internal fan, and you also get the option to change the refresh rate of the display. You can set it to auto or select between 60Hz and 90Hz. The internal fan has an intelligent setting that adjusts the fan speed based on the CPU temperature, or you can set it to full speed, which makes it audible. Gamespace also gives you the option to block incoming calls and messages to ensure that you aren't disturbed when playing a game. We also found that Gamespace disables the navigation buttons while gaming. Digital Wellbeing, a popular feature of Android 9 Pie, is missing on this smartphone.
The Nubia Red Magic 3 is a big phone and it isn't the most convenient device for single-handed use. However, the big size makes it comfortable to hold in landscape mode for gaming. We were impressed with the display and did enjoy a couple of HDR videos on YouTube. The stereo speakers have DTS-X and 3D sound support and do add to the overall experience.
Sadly, the Nubia Red Magic only has wideband L3 support, which means that you won't be able to watch streaming content at full HD resolution until Nubia fixes it.
We were happy with the snappy performance and the speed with which it would launch apps. With 8 GB of RAM, multitasking wasn't an issue, as the smartphone could keep apps running in the background. We were looking forward to gaming on this smartphone considering it is designed for this task. We played PUBG Mobile and Asphalt 9 Legends on the Nubia Red Magic 3. PUBG Mobile defaulted to the high preset and ran without any hint of lag. We went to the graphics setting of the game and bumped graphics up to HDR and frame rate to Ultra. The Red Magic 3 could run PUBG Mobile at these settings without any issues. The 90Hz display on the Red Magic 3 does make a difference when playing games that support it. We played Hill Climb Racing 2 and Cat's Crash Arena, which have support for high refresh rates. It resulted in a smooth and fluid experience when playing at 90Hz. We also observed the benefit of the 90Hz display while scrolling through the menus and opening folders. A regular display looks laggy after using the Nubia Red Magic 3 for a while. The shoulder triggers were also put to use while gaming, and we noticed that it did improve our in-game performance. Gamespace also puts a feature called 4D Shock, which enables haptic feedback while playing supported games like PUBG Mobile and Asphalt 9.
The Nubia Red Magic 3 is the first smartphone we've encountered with an internal fan, and it does make a difference while gaming. We played PUBG Mobile with and without the fan, and the device did run cooler when the fan was on.
The 5000 mAh battery helps the smartphone go about a day and a half with our usage. In our HD video loop test, the smartphone went on for 17 hours and 4 minutes. Nubia claims that the Red Magic 3 is capable of 27-watt fast charging, but only ships an 18-watt adapter in the box. The camera setup on the Nubia Red Magic 3 is basic compared to some of the other smartphones in this price range. It has a 48-megapixel IMX586 sensor, similar to the one seen on the OnePlus 7 and OnePlus 7 Pro. It has an f1.7 aperture and a 0.8 micron pixel size. For selfies, it has a 16-megapixel shooter with an f2.0 aperture. We found the camera app to be pretty basic and does have a few modes to choose from. We found it surprising that the portrait mode, which is pretty common these days, was missing. It also misses out on a dedicated night mode.
In the default mode, the phone takes photos at 12 megapixels, but you can change it to 48 megapixels in the camera settings. HDR functionality, however, is missing at this resolution.
In daylight, the Red Magic 3 manages good details and decent color reproduction. It enables HDR automatically when shooting against the light. The Red Magic 3 was quick to lock focus when clicking macros. It also managed a good bokeh effect in the background. It also managed good macros in low light. While clicking people, we missed the portrait mode and couldn't find a way to get a bokeh effect, but we noticed that the phone would bump the contrast up in these shots and over sharpen them as well. Photos taken in low light turned out well. Even with the lack of a dedicated night mode, the camera could detect low light and deliver a bright image. Noise was handled well, but fine grain was visible on zooming into the photo. Selfies had good detail and the phone managed to get the exposure right.
There is an 8K 30fps video recording mode as well, but it is currently in beta. We did record a video in this mode, but our Apple MacBook Air weren't able to play it back easily.
There is an option to record footage at 4K as well as Full HD. However, there is no video stabilization, so you'll end up with shaky footage. We also noticed that 4K video footage had boosted contrast. The Red Magic 3 does not have slow motion video recording. We have seen a lot of smartphones with the Qualcomm Snapdragon 855 SoC launching in India. While it is a good thing for smartphone buyers, manufacturers have to compete with each other on price. Nubia has a direct competitor in the form of the Black Shark 2, but has an advantage in terms of pricing. The base variant of the Red Magic 3 is priced at 35,999 rupees, while the higher variant is priced at 46,999 rupees. The Red Magic 3 has a good HDR display and stereo speakers that go well with it to enhance the overall experience. We also like the shoulder triggers, which work great for gaming and had a noticeable impact on our gaming performance. The internal fan is not a gimmick and helps the device run cool during gaming sessions.
Camera performance is one place where the Nubia Red Magic 3 does need some refinement. Nubia should consider adding the missing camera features via software updates in the future. Thankfully, we did not have any issues with the battery life on this smartphone, and it did offer good battery performance. If you spend hours gaming on your smartphone, then the Nubia Red Magic 3 would be a good companion. However, if you aren't primarily looking for a gaming smartphone, then you can take a look at the OnePlus 7 or other smartphones in the same price range and save some money as well. And that was our review of the Nubia Red Magic 3. So what do you think about the smartphone? Let us know in the comment section down below. And as always, for all things tech, stay tuned to gadgets360.com.